everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joelle Simone Anthony. I am also known as the Grave Woman. If this is your first time joining us here on my channel, I want to go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. So today I am going to be talking, just about some random things that are on my mind. I really don't have a layout, but something interesting that happened is that I'm here taking care of my mom, and she said something to me yesterday that really kind of tugged on my heart and got me thinking about the different types of grief that we experience throughout life. She and I were talking about, actually it was this morning, she and I were talking about when I left home back in 2004 to go to college, and how much my little sister was affected by my leaving. And I didn't realize that my sister basically grieved my leaving home, because I had been someone who had been present, and my sister and I are very close. I had been there her entire life, and all of a sudden, I was moving on and excited about moving on with life and going to college, and I was leaving her here. And in response to that loss, my family actually ended up purchasing my sister a dog named Diego. And Diego, I don't think, was a trained therapy dog or grief dog or anything like that, but Diego's presence in our family helped my family transition from me leaving home and them adjusting to life without me here in South Carolina anymore. And it really got me to thinking about the types of grief that a lot of parents are facing right now. Not just parents, but siblings and family members and even close friends might be experiencing right now. As we know, we're exiting graduation season, and in about 6 weeks we're going to be entering into college season, where a lot of high school graduates are leaving home and going to college. And there are going to be lots of parents and siblings and friends who are going to be grieving and experiencing the loss of those kids leaving home. And I just really never even thought about that type of grief before my mom and I had this conversation this morning. So Diego actually passed away about a month ago, and since his passing, I know my family is grieving his loss, but I think we're all just full of so much gratitude towards Diego and his spirit and his presence in our lives. I mean, Diego was, and it sounds so weird to be talking about a dog like this, but if you're a pet owner, you know that your pets are more than just animals. They become a part of your family. And Diego has been such a rock for our family, with the passing of my grandfather and the passing of my uncle. And he's just gone through so many transitions with us. And Diego was about 15 years old, and for a Rottweiler his size, that was an amazing feat in itself. And this is the first time I've been home since he's passed away, and I'm actually sitting here looking at his doghouse. But I'm just so grateful to Diego for everything that he did and everything that he has been for our family. And I thought it would be really cool to incorporate his memory into this video. But what I would like to ask of you all, if there's anyone watching who has a high schooler or teenager, or anyone who is getting ready to make a transition out of the home, whether it be for a reason like going to college or into the military, or it could be parents that are going through the transition of divorce. That's something else that my family and I kind of talk about a lot, because my parents are divorced. But it's been very important to my parents to both show up and be present for my sister and I. And because of that, I feel as if we have a uniquely special relationship in our little quad between my mom, my dad, my sister, and I. Both my parents have moved on and found love since their divorce, but throughout my entire life, whether it's been graduations, orchestra recitals, school trips, operations, graduation from high school, graduation from college, graduation from mortuary school, other important milestones from both my sister and I, both of my parents have been there. And if you are someone who is facing a transition of any kind, I'd like to know how you plan to deal with the grief aspect of it, because at the end of the day, one door in one relationship, as it's been known for however long, is ending. And whether it be children losing the security of their household as they know it, or parents losing or experiencing the grief of their siblings or their children or whoever leaving the house, there is going to be some aspect of grief experienced. And as we've discussed so much on this channel, grief is not limited to just death. A lot of times we talk about grief and we only think about someone passing away, but there are other instances in our life that are going to incite emotions and feelings that are directly associated with grief. So I'd like to know if you have an action plan, and I'd also like to offer my suggestions. And as I always say, there's not one simple way to grieve, and no one can tell you how to grieve or how to respond to grief, but I would suggest having open and honest conversations about the transitions that are upcoming and that have been experienced. I think a lot of times people don't want to deal with the emotional aspect of things that are to come or happening, and we do ourselves a disservice by not expressing ourselves. If you're a parent, or even if you're a child, give space to others to communicate honestly with you, and don't be afraid to let others know if you're struggling with a loss, because the worst thing that you can do while grieving, I think, is isolate yourself, because you believe that no one's going to understand how you feel, or no one's going to get it. And even if your immediate family doesn't understand you, there may be resources or groups or some sort of support available to you. So those are just my thoughts and tips. This is a totally random video, but I did want to make some videos while I'm away from home and keep in contact with you guys, because I know I haven't really been active on YouTube lately. But live life, love hard. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. And as always, this is a safe place of expression and just sharing and exchanging information. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.